What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of Walking 90. I'm your host, as always. As your resident league champion, I can now say I gladly join the race of the other two men that have joined me on this podcast. You guys can't give me the bird. You guys have literally been in the last two finals. Brandon, you've been in the last three. Allow another team to enjoy the spoils of victory. I have enjoyed it.
Fine.
I'm your host, as always. Elliot Bowen is joining to my left. Is a guy that is coming. His team is coming to Richmond to finish as low as either second or third. It's Mr. Brandon Mays. How are you doing, sir?
I am fantastic. Ready for a great win on Saturday. I'm going to be watching from afar, but I'm excited to get a deserved win over Richmond's best team. They're gonna be putting out their best team for Saturday, I'm sure.
Yep,
Absolute.
definitely is going to be a C team, and everyone else is going to be placed in bubble wrap. It's going to be put in bubble wrap. I feel like Darren's going to do the A team just like that one episode of Family Guy where Peter's like he does what he does. He wants to take the whole family on like a vacation, but instead of paying for them to fly first class, he just wraps them all in bubble wrap and puts them through like the carriage. It was like, hey, this is a lot cheaper. That's what I feel like Darren's going to do is just wrap everyone in bubble wrap and be like, you stay like this until 2 weeks from now.
Everybody's like it's literally like watching Zorb soccer for the next 2 weeks practice.
Pretty much. Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
Terzagi's like, I'm going out for dinner, and like, no, we'll DoorDash that over there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Moving, sir.
100%. We're here DoorDashing this. But also joining us on the show is a guy who is in the Discord chat who fans are thinking that everything is wrong. It's Mr. Chip. How are you doing, sir?
A lot better than most Omaha fans are online.
Which is so surprising to me because given the fact that this team has been dominant ever since they entered the league, winner of the US Open Cup run, you would think you guys are like NCFC.
Yeah. Friend of the program, Brian from League One on the Rocks, did a little Twitter poll, and it was just like, hey, like, what would you give like your team's grade for this year? And someone said for Omaha a D. Right. It's like, what?
That's the grade I give them every season. It's just because I don't like Omaha.
But it's like, what? A D? Really? Playoffs? Final 8? I mean, okay.
Hey.
That is your opinion. You can have it. That's fine.
It is wrong. Great. It is very wrong.
It's misinformed.
I respect you as a person.
What?
I said I respect you as a person, but that's wrong.
I don't.
I don't know. Like,
I don't.
You should have.
We gotta stop. We gotta stop flattering people with bad opinions. Look at Kanye. It's got him nowhere.
Bo Burnham has a great song that I think is very applicable for a lot of people dating, and it's called "Lower Your Expectations." And that's what I got to say to Omaha fans. Sometimes maybe our expectations are very, very high. Maybe they just need to be a little bit lower. So a little bit lower.
I believe that. Well, yeah, guys. I mean, we got a lot to talk about. We got teams that have clinched, teams that have not clinched. We got teams that possibly are going to use this to figure out who to keep, who not to keep. So I say let's go ahead and let's go. By the way, before we get started, want to take a moment and tell you guys, remember to subscribe, rate the show. If you're watching on YouTube right now, take a moment to like, share with a friend, because without y'all, we couldn't do this show, and possibly this show would be boring and nothing without y'all. So take a moment, like the show, tell us how good we're doing, or tell Brandon how good his hair looks on a normal basis.
Right?
Looks very nice.
Compliment me. Otherwise, I just...
Right. All right, so first fixture we got up, y'all. Greenville won. Chattanooga. Charlotte nil. Brandon, you was there for this game, man. How did it feel? I mean, granted, you guys got this game to clinch, but what was the overall feel of this game? What were some of the things Greenville were doing?
I mean, it felt good. I'm gonna be honest again. I was there with my kid again, and we had a hot chocolate, so it was even a little tougher this time around because I had to focus on giving a 2-year-old hot chocolate. But I mean, it was a fantastic game. Obviously Charlotte hasn't been quite up to scruff on their attack recently. It's been kind of bland. And so you kind of saw that on Saturday. They moved the ball well up until the final third, and there's just not a ton that felt super dangerous. There was a couple moments, but not like, oh my gosh, we might lose this or this is going to be a draw. It just kind of it felt like a really good controlled, like old school. Like as an Arsenal fan, I've already pitched this multiple times. Like we just need to start singing 1-0 to the triumph. Like just kind of like how they sang 1-0 to the Arsenal in the '90s when George Graham was.
Right on too. They feel like if you look at the goal scored and goals difference, I think there's like a difference of 3 goals between each. Like it is very much on brand for y'all to go 1-0.
Yep. So it felt like a good win. Obviously, I felt like I thought we did a decent job of giving Charlotte the possession of the ball without giving them dangerous possession. So it wasn't very impactful or anything. But I still think they could be really dangerous going into the postseason. Obviously, they've got a lot of really good talent. Watching Overton up close, it's crazy, man. He's not only is he like a really strong dude, you don't realize it. He also he's just really good on the ball, and it comes through even so much more in person.
Yeah, we're going to talk about him related to something else that the league dropped out this week that was kind of shitty. But we're going to take a moment to pause before we talk about our next game and kind of finish with Greenville's situation. Talk about a guy who other team members believe that the Henny Dart was more important than the regular season trophy and the U.S. Elite One trophy. It's Mr. Kyle Carr. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I had a good Henny hangover, so that was that.
You can tell by the chat, Kyle. You can tell by the chat.
Oh yeah, I reread the chat on Sunday, and I was like, oh god, and that was just like the safe shit. I couldn't tell you what happened during the game. I remember pregame. I remember like the last maybe 5 minutes. And I remember doing a shot of Jameson in the forward club after the match.
Can the record show that Kyle said that he was going to be a good little church boy during the game and be like, oh, I got stuff to do. I got kids to put to bed. I'm going to be a responsible civilian. And then it's
I never said that not for the Henny Derby. I never said I was going to be a good person. I said I will do my best to behave.
I don't know if you said you'd be a good person. You said you'd be a semi-sober person.
I would say for the last 5 minutes of the game, I was.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
Right. I got the interviews with Coach and Jalen Chrysler. Like I got it together enough then.
You got enough to get interviews out. That's about it.
I did. I was good enough to interview, and I think that's really a good showing of how I was.
There you go. All right, Brandon, I want to go back to you real quick and ask you a question about Lobovitz. He finally got a goal. It's been talked about. He hasn't been able to get off the goal sheet. Do you think, not saying this is an important goal for him, but do you think this kind of reboots him and get him ready for the playoff stretch you guys are going to have?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, again, that's one of those things where some of this pre-game or pre-show, we've created a ton of chances, and I definitely think he's gotten in positions to finish them off, and I really hope that going into the preseason, obviously we've got some, with Ibarra kind of gaining form and incredible players around him. I think that he can make a really good push, but anytime you're about to go into a big playoff run and you can pull out a win like that in the 70th minute, I think that's a big boost for your confidence. And I really hope it is kind of a return to form, if you will. Not that he's been bad, just getting goals in the back of the net. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, there you go. Well, Greenville got the opportunity on Saturday to either finish second or, depending on how other results go, they can finish third, fourth, wherever it may be. Charlotte's kind of fighting for their life. He got the win in it. If not, you get Charlotte's ass goodbye. Draw doesn't help them either. Moving on to the next game. Evan, who's, by the way, is off screen because her internet is slower than NCFC defense. They lost 0-1 to Chattanooga Red Wolves. Guys, despite everything that Chattanooga has had going on, how is this team still doing this? How is Galindra still not further ahead in the Golden Boot race?
Spite.
Given how many goals he scores.
Spite. That's why they're hanging around. I was going
to say the team was always talented, but it's clear that It's not. It's a combustible talent. It's like, remember that like old school Lakers team that had like Shaq and Kobe and Karl Malone and Gary Payton, and it was just like absolutely stacked, but like chemistry wise, it just
Which, by the
dog
way,
shit.
have you guys watched Legacy? I know I'm going off the rails a little bit. But you guys watch Legacy on Hulu?
no.
Not yet. No.
Oh my god! It's okay. So it's about the Lakers from like how they started to like now, and there's like 1 or 2 episodes on that team, like that was the team that Kyle was talking about, and boy, that team was dramatic as hell. Like there was one episode where Shaq, where I think Kobe said something to Shaq, and Shaq was like, "I'm going to beat your ass at practice," and literally he called up Phil, and Phil was like, "Hey, we gotta have practice early because Shaq about to beat Kobe's ass." And Kobe said, well, no, it wasn't Kobe. It was Shaq said, I dip my hands in Vaseline ready to beat his ass.
Well, it was like the comment with the Draymond Green fight. They're like, they thought it was going to be like a right now NBA fight. It's like, no, Draymond went 80s. 80s.
Oh, yeah, he went
Pistons.
80s. Very 80s.
He was ready.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%.
But no, it's
my
like,
bad, I didn't mean to cut off your point. My bad.
Yeah.
No, but I was just saying it's because like it just reminds me of that where there's like all the talent in the world, but like chemistry wise, it's a shit show. So
Okay. Yeah, guys, let me ask you this about Chattanooga. Like, this team is winning despite what happened. And for those who don't know, we've been doing our part, unlike the league and the team has, about talking about this situation. So I mean, we took down that episode, but this team is winning despite that. Is there a situation or a chance in case where Chattanooga not only wins this game, but might be the most dangerous team going into the playoffs?
Probably them or Tormenta.
yeah,
Yeah.
And offensively, yeah, for sure. On
Well,
their
that's the
day,
thing. Like,
they can.
Chattanooga does such a good
for
job
sure.
offensively. Like, I don't feel like they get tested defensively a lot. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Well, and this year goals have been such a premium this year. Chattanooga, Tormenta, Richmond are teams that have consistently found the back of the net, and they can score in bunches too.
Yeah.
And you know, you get in the playoffs, and sometimes it's first team that scores wins. Like if Omaha goes down 1-0 in a playoff game, like probably ain't coming back. Richmond goes down 1-0 in a playoff game. You know, Terzaga is going to get some goal in the 95th minute or something. Like it's going to work out for them.
Yeah.
But like Omaha, maybe. Greenville, maybe.
Hard to say.
Chattanooga, probably not. But I think that's just the big thing is we just do not have like last year, so many of the teams had like that guy. And who even has that guy this year? I'd say Richmond has that guy. Tormenta has that guy.
Maybe Charlotte.
Greenville, if Labovitz decides he wants to score again, has that guy.
Noco,
Yeah, Noco if they make the playoffs.
Charlotte.
But it's like, I don't
They're
know.
like the playoff team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which we'll get to. But, you know, which would be kind of interesting if you get a 6 seed because even Tormenta could end up as a 6 seed. Tormenta could end up outside the playoffs. So it'd be interesting if all of a sudden you have a 6 seed that's really dangerous going up against that 3 seed, and going up against the 1 seed. That could be kind of scary. That 6 seed is where you have hot hands. But I think luckily for Richmond, they have the hottest, most consistent hand in the league when it comes to scoring with the Bolaños Terzaghi combo.
Well, the hottest of consistent hands won the last Henny Derby matchup, not the trophy itself. 1-0 for Madison. Good transition, Chip. I like that. Good job. Shut up. Richmond won for Madison 0. Kyle, any parts that you remember of this game before I try to talk about it?
Fam, I didn't even know they scored. I didn't even know Richmond scored. Like, all of a sudden, it was halftime. I got off the Capitol stand. I looked. I was like, what do you mean it's 1-0? When the fuck did that happen? No, I rewatched the game, and it was pretty uneventful. I mean, the good news is Fort Madison took shots in the box, which was progress for them. None of them were on target.
I got to say, this is probably the most...
One step at a time.
uneventful Henry Derby we probably have ever had.
Yeah.
In terms of on the field play. Like this was, you can tell Richmond wasn't going in there to be open. They were kind of just playing for, not I don't want to say playing for the draw, but they weren't pushing it.
Yeah.
It seemed like Madison was kind of stuck in neutral for most parts.
Well, and it's interesting because I wonder, had Jeremiah Strang score that 101 early in the first half, does that change the game? Like, he had a clear 101 and he just got it off target. And that was, if anything can describe Forward Madison's season, that miss was probably a good indicator of it. Like, you did all that work, you got yourself in a good position finally, and you fuck it up.
I think it did. Like, you can tell after that shot, it's like Madison team just got very tight, and it also just felt like the entire air just came out the whole
Deflated.
building. Like the thing about it was a clear breakaway right in front of right in front of the supporters end. And if you mix that goal, you gotta feel like Richmond's feeling the pressure out because Greenville's winning, Omaha's winning. Like it becomes very different. And did he just? I don't know. I think Darren might have paid him an extra $10. I don't know.
I think that's just a good encapsulation of the season. Like, and that's as clear of a cut chance as you're going to get, and pushed it out wide too far. Just pushed it too far wide.
I do want to ask you this question, Kyle. Did it sting a little bit to see Richmond clinch or celebrate the title on your home field?
It is frustrating. I would say it was frustrating because it's bad enough that the season has gone the way it has. It sucks to end the home stretch on a loss. It sucks more when the opposition is celebrating. So like it was more frustration than anything, just because it's like you were going into that final 2 months, like at least things were going in your way. Like, okay, well, maybe not the best of results, but you have 4 of your last like 5 games are at home. Like, you can turn this around, and it just completely fell apart. So I think it was just more frustration seeing another team celebrating on your field just because they are clinching the first seed, and you're just sitting here like, okay, well, I guess we're playing potentially for last place.
Is that 7 losses in a row now for Madison?
No, I think it's like 5 in a row. And I think like winless in like 10 or like 7 or 10 or something.
Well, I guess the big question with the Henny Derby title and a wooden spoon, is that a double?
Think about the positives, Kyle. Think about the positives.
Domestic double? Kyle's like, why the fuck did I come on tonight?
Hey, Kyle.
Sorry,
look, I'm not going to make you sadder, but I do want to give you the small glimmer of hope. I was in your position in 2019.
Look at him now.
3 years later, look where I'm at now with a consistent head coach.
No, my sliver of hope is if they can just get a striker that can actually consistently score and be threatening, then at least there's a chance. Like, that is pretty much when I think of like what's gone wrong in the season. There's no one on that team that threatens the opposition. And I said it on the new Dogma Zine. Like, there is no attacker that is consistently, like I said, Richmond has a couple of those guys. Like, Omaha's the only team that like doesn't have someone that consistently strike fear in someone, but because they're so good defensively, they can get away with it. But all these other teams have someone, even North Carolina. I guess Tucson was the only one where I said like, no, probably not. But like every other team had someone that required the defense's attention, and Madison just didn't.
I can't even poke fun of you, Kyle. You just look so devoid of life.
That is not because of Forward Madison. That is just general tiredness. And I have this Bears Commanders game on in the background, and it is dog shit.
That's going to suck the life out of you right there.
Well, I have that on. But
are you a Bears fan or a Commanders fan?
Neither. I just needed something that wasn't Peppa Pig playing on the TV.
Fair.
Amen. Yeah. That feeling.
No, like it's one of those where it's like I look at the season and it's just a shit season. Like,
well, we'll say how to fix Forward Madison for maybe the end of this podcast or
a
next
striker. Week. The end. Next.
More jerseys.
we move ahead to the game that I call the Bird Classico next week. We got Union Omaha drawing 1-1 with Tormenta. Chip, is Omaha in a state of desperation? Because it seems like the supporters want to blow up everything and start anew.
They do. They're Kate and Matico, as the kids say. It's all.
It's never said that.
I don't know. Like I said, it's interesting. I think sometimes that I'm living on like this weird planet of like real. Maybe I'm the pessimist, and maybe they're all like the realists. But it's like, man,
if you're the pessimist in there saying like, "Hey guys, we've had a good season." I hate to see what optimism look like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we mentioned,
I
Brian's
will take
thread
this
earlier.
pessimism. Give me that.
Yeah, we mentioned Brian's thread earlier, and I said, if we, with everything that happened, if we don't host a playoff game and then lose, that's like a B+ season. It's like that's a pretty good season. You made the playoffs, you made the round of 8 of the Open Cup, like brand new team, like that's good. But they have had this big collapse, and I think it comes back to something we've talked a lot about this year, that a lot of these teams are really, really shallow. And for Omaha, their best unit this year versus last year, where the offense was the big unit, they could rely on scoring very early, scoring very fast, scoring in very high volumes, and just taking other teams out of the game. So when you're down 3-0, like to a certain point, you just say, fuck it, we're done. But Omaha this year has been a defensive team. They've relied on the skill of Nuhu, who we said earlier probably shouldn't be in USL 1. He should be somewhere else, but because of the fact that he is not a U.S. citizen, it kind of takes away some of his attractiveness to other teams, which is great for Omaha because it means that he's been here for 3 years. Hopefully he's here for 4, even though if anybody in this league deserves going up to championship or somewhere else, it's him. He's been a good soldier. He's done his time. He's done it very well. I think it's very hard to look at Nuhu's 3 years in USL 1 and say, well, it could have been better because it's been pretty damn fucking good.
Oh, no.
And so he's been out this month. They haven't said he's injured, but that's Jay Mims. He's hurt probably. Who knows if he's coming back, but he's been out. We lost Bow on the right wing, and it's been kind of right wing by committee. Has been great. Touche has been injured since the Richmond game. Not the Richmond game in Omaha, the Richmond game in Richmond. And so he's out. And so we're down 3 starters of the back 5. And, it's shown like Omaha's really relied on the defense kind of saving them. And then the offense either getting a goal and getting them a 1-0 win, or just at least like not messing up. And we just haven't had that. And that's why you see these big collapses late in the game. The defense is still pretty stout, but it's not as stout as it was. And that's why all of a sudden you're seeing these crazy things like Omaha ending up drawing in all of these games where we're up a man. And it's crazy. And, that was the same thing. And like, I remember during the Omaha game, during the Omaha goal during this Tormenta game, I texted Brian from Tormenta, who's on their front office staff, and said, hey, that was an interesting goal. And we were kind of chatting about the goal and yada, yada, yada. And it ended up being reversed, which is a trend this year. I think, Brandon, are we up to 6 reverse red cards? Mm-hmm. Which is crazy because 3 of them involve Omaha. Is it 4?
No,
4 involve
2 involved Tormenta. Now,
well, one of them was versus Omaha.
Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah.
Two of Tormentas involved Omaha.
Yes.
Because Phelps earlier in the year,
Oh,
and you had the 2 that Omaha had. So 4 of the 6 are Omaha
games. Yeah. Omaha
reversals. Which is pretty crazy to think that happened. And then we went up 1-0, but it was a very uncomfortable lead. Tormenta, like we've talked about earlier, has a very dangerous attack. They threatened a lot. And they got that free kick and converted on it. And then the game ended 1-1. And that kind of ended Omaha's, between that and the Richmond result, kind of ended Omaha's hopes for the regular season. Omaha still has the ability to finish second. It's going to take some help. You need Yogi and the Richmond boys to come in and just womp on Greenville a bit. And we need Bolt too, but we could finish second too. And I think that's like the craziest thing is we could finish between 2nd and 6th, but we have Fuego coming into town, who's out of the playoff contention. We still have a lot of hope. We got Jay Mims, who's been a great coach this year, done a lot with what he's had despite all the turnover. And, I think that's the weird thing is Omaha could still finish second, but a lot of Omaha fans would kind of feel like the season wasn't complete, which, I think is fair with how bad September was. We're at 6 games without a win, 3 losses, 3 draws. Like, that's not – if we had taken care of business, we would have won the league, but we didn't. And, especially how we lost and drew those games, like, left a lot of points on the table, and it'll be interesting to see what Jay does in the offseason. And, who knows? Like, there's the playoffs left. We could make a big run. Probably won't, but we could. But, I think right now, if you're an Omaha fan and you're feeling down, it's time to ride for the brand. Like, let's get behind the team. Let's show our support. Let's be at Werner Park. If we have any more games left after this weekend, be loud, show them our support, and let's just see what they can do. And there's always next year.
If Omaha fans are down about how things are, I need them to shut the fuck up and be grateful that they're in a playoffs at least. So I don't want to hear this bullshit.
Someone online said that Omaha season deserved a D.
I want to fight them. Like, fuck that.
Yeah, we got to stop asking the opinions of people that aren't there all the way.
It can be frustrating. Like, Omaha fans can be frustrated, but to act like all is doom and gloom, it's like you're still able to finish fucking second.
Right.
Like,
well,
I don't mean to
not
hear
even
this
act doom and gloom. Like, right now, I guarantee you, if you were to tell Madison fans, hey, you're going to miss the playoffs, but you're going to go to the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open Cup, they will bite your hand off in a second and be like,
I would take that. I would gladly take that.
Like, even that in itself for a USL League One team is a successful season.
I mean, shit, Kyle, Madison next year, number 6 seed overall, gets blown out 5-0 by Lexington. Would you take it?
I'd at least consider it. I'd have to, I need to know the context of how they ended up in the 6th seed, but, it at least would be okay, well.
Kyle, I don't think you want to care about context given the last 3 years. Like, just take the 6th seed now.
Just take it.
Just take it.
Is it okay, you're the 6th seed because everyone else was just shit, or were you a good team and you just got your ass beat? There is a difference.
6 is in the playoffs, yes or no?
Yes, I think.
Okay,
right now.
That's all you need to worry about.
Baby steps.
I am just acting like Ford Madison win the Henny Derby. At least I have that, but I don't want to hear Omaha fans bitching about their season. Fuck off.
They're going to do it.
Which, in fairness, I think a lot of it's Omaha fans, but it's also shows how bad this last month's been.
It's still better than Ford Madison's month. So again,
that's not saying much.
I'm just saying much. You got points in the month of September. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the bitching.
Let me pull up the standings. Omaha is in 10th place in points from last 5 games, and Madison is in last place with 0 points, and Omaha is in 10th place with 3.
This is the preppy kid that is bitching about how he got a Porsche and not a Ferrari. Fuck off.
Yeah. I want to give you a number here that will make Kyle feel even worse. I was actually looking this up.
We got a title to show how to make Kyle feel shittier about his
in the last 3 games.
Can't do worse.
Madison created a total of 6 chances across 3 games. 6 total chances. That's not on goal. That's just 6 chances. 6 shots.
Sounds about right.
If Omaha fans feel worse, than that, 6 chances, 0 goals. I'm sorry.
That's that white privilege kicking in now. That's that white privilege that's coming out of Omaha fans right now. That's what it is.
You said the fans. I was I don't know about the players.
No, the players I'm sure are disappointed, but they're at least okay, we can turn it around.
Well, I would say in fairness too, though, for Omaha, and not that this needs to. This is a fun tangent though, but I think for Omaha, the first 2 years went just about as well as you could expect them to be, and then up until July, it's year 2.5's looking pretty fucking good too, and then it's minor setback, and it's whoa, it's
not even a minor setback. Your team got to the final of the U.S. Open Cup.
It
They
got to
probably
a
use up all
quarterfinal of the U.S. Open Cup,
Right.
beating two MLS.
I don't know a
teams in the way.
softer. I don't know a slight disappointment.
They probably use up all that energy. And granted, okay, you've had a bad week against Tucson, Richmond, and Greenville. Arguably, the team that decides they want to play soccer in September, a Richmond team that's perennial has been a 2-1 seed this entire year, and Greenville that's arguably had the best 4-year stretch of any team, not in USL League One, but in US soccer outside of LAFC.
Mhm.
And also, we're talking about a team that has been stripped of massive amount of talent.
13. So I was trying
And
to
you're
be
fighting
as
for
soft as
second on
possible.
Saturday? I'm sorry.
Here-
I don't need to go on
here's-
a tangent.
Here's the
That's that
here's-
white privilege talking.
Here's the disappointment. Here's what Omaha's fans' disappointment really is. Omaha fans' disappointment is like Brandon walking down to his favorite coffee shop on a Saturday and saying, "Hey, I want the Colombian pour over." And they say, "Hey, Brandon, sorry, man, we're out of the Colombian, but we got this really great Ethiopian single origin. It's pretty damn good." Brandon's being like, "Not what I wanted, but sounds pretty damn good." That's Omaha season.
I mean, I would actually consider that a win because the first one would not be my ideal situation. But
Ta-da! And moving on, we go to NOCO, where NOCO, oddly enough, everyone put a fork in them, wins 2-1 against FC Tucson, who, by the way, playoff chances were ended with the loss to Central Valley Fuego, who playoff chances were ended as well. NOCO guys, is this a sneaky dark horse team that can obviously cause some havoc and trouble?
Yes.
If they make it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, if they make it, which I kind of hope they do. I would love to see this NOCO team get in, given everything that's been against them this year with the stadium situation. It'll be a fun way to see them get in there.
Yeah. Well, and again, who's hot right now? It's not a lot of teams, really. Like,
I mean,
Who-
yeah, this NOCO team is really hot. Great,
they're hot. They've got a
Chattanooga.
consistent scorer, and
Yeah.
I mean, shit. I would not want to see NOCO in the playoffs as an Omaha fan.
as any fan,
Yeah. I mean, give me Chattanooga, or not Chattanooga. Give me Charlotte. I want Charlotte.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be. We're gonna talk about it.
Well, of
Well,
the
it'd be
of the
interesting.
options.
Yeah,
Of
I
the
know.
options
It's like that's
available.
the tough part because it's like Charlotte
Well-
could suddenly be able to score 4 goals, or they're going to allow 5. You don't know.
As an Omaha fan, I'm afraid of my shadow at this point.
Oh my god. We're
You
not
know,
focused
Brandon's
on
kids, like U5 team, could come to Omaha for the playoffs and be like, shit, we're gonna give up 3 goals.
that. Oh god, this is gonna be so bad. All right. Well, look, this is how the playoff race kind of ends up going into what we call "quote unquote" decision day, but it's not decision day because no game is being played at the same time because the
And
league
one
doesn't
team's
want
just
to
not
play
playing at
games the
all.
same time.
USL fix that. Fix that shit.
Well, that should hopefully be fixed once we get Lexington in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, because at least it's even, but it's the start, which is weird because Omaha plays at 4. So when I first saw that on the schedule, I was like, oh, they must be like doing something. It's like, no, we're just like randomly playing 3 hours before we normally play for no reason.
yeah,
I do remember
Earlier
Madison playing
game.
Lansing at like 3 or 4 o'clock on the last day of the season. I was like, why?
Yeah,
Well,
that's stupid.
At least in the Midwest, it makes sense because it's cold.
I mean, I would love it. I would
Can
love
be
earlier
cold.
games.
So this is what we have. I'll run through everything. Officially eliminated: Fuego, Fort Madison, FC Tucson, North Carolina. Even if Fuego wins, they can only go as high as 7th. That'll be, I guess, a kudos to them. Fort Madison. Here's the interesting thing: even though the 10 o'clock game does not matter, it kind of does because if North Carolina wins and they lose to FC Tucson, Madison officially wins the spoon.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say if North Carolina wins, if Madison loses, they get the wooden spoon. If Tucson needs to win to avoid it.
Yeah.
Which could
Yeah.
be fun if we essentially
Because
have
Madison's 1 point ahead of
Oh
Tucson,
yeah,
so even a draw
right,
would.
right. So
we have
Tucson
a
needs to
wooden
win to avoid
spoon
it.
match. That'd be fun.
Now, what happens if North Carolina draws and Tucson loses? because they would
North
both
Carolina
be-
will still get it because of
Would
goal
they?
differential. Yeah.
So if Tucson were to lose by 4 goals, then what?
Okay.
I'm just, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, no,
If
Tucson.
that situation happens, and you saying if NoCo draws or
If
loses,
North Carolina draws and Tucson loses, then Tucson would need to not lose by 4 goals or
yes,
more.
pretty much. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all that needs to happen. Kyle, you're not
Basically,
scoring 4.
we'll know what's going on with the wooden spoon by the time the last game kicks off. We'll know what
Pretty
the
much.
stipulation is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But that's the issue. If you want to watch the 10 o'clock game just to see the wooden spoon champion match potentially, is a chance to watch it there. If North Carolina wins, that's it.
And Madison has a wooden spoon for sale in their team shop right now.
Get the fuck out of here.
I
Do y'all
think
really?
it's a great idea. It needs to happen. Not necessarily for Madison. Somebody needs to do it.
Cow,
It was
cow,
not-
Cow.
We're selling coffee.
Cow, for the love of
And the
cow,
scooper is
for the love
wooden.
of God. Y'all are not selling an effing wooden spoon.
Not
Cow, I swear
intentionally.
to God. If y'all
It is-
market it in profit off of y'all being the last worst team in USL League One, I swear to everlasting God.
No, they are selling coffee, but the scooper that would come with it is made of wood.
That being
Ah,
said, if
what
you're in
about-
Madison
If y'all
and you bought the coffee package, I will give you $30 plus shipping and handling for that spoon. If Madison wins the
Wow.
wooden spoon,
I will
I
give.
swear to
I have
God.
plans.
I will do whatever it takes to get hold of one of those spoons.
I want-
If
I think
you're
I want
giving
that
me
more
money
than
for
a,
spoon,
Bolt
that might be
bobblehead.
a different story. Like I
Cow, I swear to God. If y'all profit,
as soon as I'm just telling you, in the Slack, as soon as I came out, everyone's like, do they not realize what the fuck they're doing?
they do. They know exactly
they
what
do.
they're
They
doing.
know
That's
exactly
the
what they're
thing. We
doing.
all
And y'all
looked at it, we're
allowing
like-
them to do it.
Okay, so you're doing this. Like, do you? No, we all said the same thing. Like, oh, you're doing okay.
I swear, y'all will be the only team in history to get more notarization for being the worst team in the league than the actual fucking league. Oh my God.
Well, here's the smart move if you're Madison. You sell a kit with a wooden spoon patch on it. And then all the Omaha fans who like Madison have an excuse to buy another Madison kit. And then all the Omaha fans who don't like Madison also have an excuse to buy a Madison kit. And you'll sell like 150 kits.
Just tax the living shit out. Just make it like $200.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, I
So
want
that
a
way,
Madison wooden spoon
you know,
kit.
Madison fans will buy it, but anyone that hates Ford Madison will gladly buy it. There, you
I'm
get
not
200.
buying that. No, I'm not.
I'm not buying it.
What'd you say?
God.
My wife just yelled from the baby room that she wants a Ford Madison wooden spoon kit.
They won't sell it. I swear to God, if they sell it. Might take a year
They're selling a
off.
wooden spoon.
I might take a year off if they end up selling a wooden spoon kit edition.
I hate this thing so much. All right. So going on to the rest of the league, Charlotte, who has to beat North Carolina, draw does not help them. They could go as high as 5th. So they will be on the road if they get in. They can go as high as 5th. Tormenta, the team that kind of seems like the darling of the Walking 90 podcast, with a win against Chattanooga, which, by the way, I think is going to be the most interesting game to watch. They could go as high as 2nd, if I'm doing my math right.
As low as
Yes,
7th.
Huh?
They can go as high as 2nd, low as 7th.
There
Yep.
we go. Yeah, as low as 7th. Nelco, who will not play this weekend because their season's done, they can't move at all, but they can drop out.
They can move. Yeah, I was gonna say they move down. They can't move up.
Yeah, they
Can't
can't
move up.
gain points.
Union Omaha, who Chip was just talking about, could go as high as 2nd, but can go as low as 6th, right?
Yep.
Yep. Chattanooga, same situation. They can go as high as 2nd, can go as low as 6th. Greenville, same thing. No, they can go as low as
No, Chattanooga could go as low as 5th. Well, actually, yeah, they can go as low as 5th.
Yeah. Greenville has one home playoff game, so they can go as low as 4th, high as 2nd.
Yeah. So that's it. So that's how everything works. Richmond's locked up in 1 seed overall. So that's how everything works and looks. So, guys, I want to ask you this. I think we all know what's the game we're all watching. I think it's going to be that Tormenta versus Chattanooga game. Outside of that game, is there any other game that you're going to keep a close eye on That is not your own personal game, Brandon.
I wasn't gonna say that one.
Okay.
If anything, you should be looking at me for that one.
I was
Yeah,
going to
the
say
other
Omaha Fuego, to be honest.
Okay.
Because with Omaha Fuego, that will probably set the tone for the rest of the weekend. Because if Omaha were to draw, then best case scenario, they get a home playoff game. Like they could finish third, they could finish fourth, but depending on Tormenta, they might have to go on the road if they were to draw. So like Omaha drawing could really create, or losing could really create an intriguing situation. If they win, they at least get a home playoff game. So like it takes that out of it. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, Greenville then has to kind of have something to play for. Chattanooga would then have something to play for. Like I think the Omaha Fuego game sets the tone for how the playoff picture can look.
For sure.
I think Richmond Greenville is also a really intriguing game because if Richmond wins, you could have 3 teams that could jump Greenville.
Indeed.
For the second place, and that's where the gravy is right there too. Getting that home bye, that's a big ticket straight to the semifinals because Chattanooga can get there with a win, just a straight up win. Well, shit, if they win and Greenville loses, they pass them.
If Chattanooga wins and Greenville draws, Chattanooga gets it.
Yeah,
because they would have more wins on tiebreaker.
Yep.
Omaha can get in. Or Omaha can jump Greenville, Tormenta can jump Greenville. So, because Greenville is only a 2-goal differential, so Tormenta with a win would tie them on wins, and if they win, well, so if Greenville loses 1-0 and Tormenta wins 1-0, you're then to the next tiebreaker. Which what is the fourth tiebreaker? Is that head to head?
So no, it goes total wins, then goal difference, then goals scored.
Which
probably would
Tormenta would pass them if they score anything. Would pass
if
them.
They're tied. Then it goes to ranking based on points earned against the top 4. Which I don't know. How
then
the
that
fuck
makes
that
that
would work.
super interesting because
Madison's
they've done really good
Let's
versus
go.
Greenville. They've been pretty decent against Omaha. Like, geez, but
They did
so
really well
like,
against Greenville. Yeah, they did well against Greenville. I don't know how they did against Tormenta. I mean, against Richmond. That'd be the only questionable one.
So if you have Richmond beating Greenville, then that is the one that will cascade all sorts of like potentially really, really weird shit.
But I mean, they're going
If
to
it
have
were to
the Richmond Strikers playing striker for Richmond on Saturday. So like Terzaghi is going to be on the sideline. They're going to have a U15 player playing striker so they can give Matt Bentley a rest too. So I don't know.
I was going to say the 5th tiebreaker is fair play, so the team with fewest disciplinary points in league games. So that would eliminate Tormenta.
Yeah, they have a lot of overturned cards though.
Yeah, and then it's a lottery. So head to head actually does not matter.
No, because I think it's an unbalanced schedule. Well, because it makes sense because you play each team 3 times, but like one is home away, and another one's away home. So it makes sense in that aspect.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool. I think
a balanced schedule.
Yeah, I think in the past we've had a lot of. In the past we've had a lot of decision day for like the final few spots, but this year it's interesting because you have so many. One's knocked out, but you have so many exciting battles for 2 to 6, and it's one of those ones where no team can really. Even with a win, a lot of these teams are going to be watching a lot of other games to see what happens, and I think that's what kind of makes it an exciting decision day. And we'll see.
I feel like last year's was not that exciting for some reason, and I feel like it wasn't because I feel like Omaha and Greenville were very clearly like 1 and 2. The only intrigue was like that last spot, and that I think a lot of it was because that TFC 2 game being on Friday kind of like set the tone for everything.
Yeah, I think Richmond and Tucson were essentially playing for home field versus each other. And then it was the 6th spot, and there was like 2 teams in line for the 6th spot. And so like it wasn't super exciting, really.
Yeah.
But this year,
I feel like the other years, there's been something on the line for a lot of games. So, because last year, like 2019, even it was like there was still the final 2 playoff spots, and who would have a home game besides North Texas, and then 2020 was obviously for second, and then we had last year.
Yeah, because that decision day in 2020 was exciting, but it was really only 3 teams. Which, in fairness, that was because the format was.
Well, that one could have been interesting because had Omaha not scored that winning goal, then North Texas would have made it, and that would have
North Texas Greenville.
Man, that would have been.
2020 sucked because Richmond could have been in a final.
Well, yeah.
Mark Hernandez decided to be a fucking legend and score. Fucking
Mark.
And Ryan, no, Richmond needs to come. They need to fight, beat Greenville, beat him down, show him who's boss.
Dude, Saturday's going to be a party in Richmond. Everybody's going to be drunk. Everyone's going to be drunk.
Any slushies in the concession stand?
Probably so. Which, by the way, I'll probably have a Henny slushie on hand for the game, pre-game.
If you did an Incredible Hulk slushie, that'd be pretty good, I bet.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. Probably will do that as well.
That sounds like a fight.
Does slightly, but
Like, it sounds good, but also sounds like there's going to be a fight.
hey, no, Ryan. Seriously, we're probably arresting a bunch of people.
Yeah, why would you play him?
Yeah, we're probably arresting a bunch of people. Guys, we do have one thing to talk about. Before we kind of talk about next week, this week round of games coming up. If I can find it, the USL League One tweeted out this deplorable 7-aside. That was absolutely bad. So I'm going to give you a rundown of who it is. Emiliano Terzaghi, Ricardo Pepi, Ronaldo.
Find a beer before we talk about this.
Gabriel Oberton, Danny Toya, Rob Cornwell, Akira Fitzgerald. That's the all-time league's 7-aside. The subs: Juan Galindres, Miguel Ibarra, Jake Keegan, Rashad Nuhu, Damian Villanueva. Now, before I give it over to y'all, because I know you guys are going to have excellent points as well, I am going to make this known. This list is dog shit. Utter dog shit. 1, Danny Toya doesn't even play left back in this league. He plays striker. So obviously, whoever made this graphic, USL League One, doesn't watch the fucking league. Ricardo Pepi only played 16 games in this league?
Not
And
even.
Granted, they're putting him in here because of what he's done with FC Dallas, the national team, and FC Augsburg. Doesn't mean shit when it comes to USL League One. 2, Gabriel Oberton should not be in the 7 when you have Arturo Rodriguez is 2 years in this league. You can make a case for Akira Fitzgerald, which is fine. I understand it. You can go either way between him or Nuhu. It's a coin flip. Neither one, you lose with neither one. You literally don't lose with either one. The only asterisk I put beside it is probably Dallas J, just because how his season ended last year and getting replaced. That is it. Outside of that, 2019, 2020, we literally had conversations of who's the best goalkeeper between Nuhu, Akira, and Dallas J. That's it. Juan Galindres, I'm fine with. You can leave that in. Miguel Ibarra, hell no. No. Absolutely no. 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 When you had Charlie Dennis, Shaq Adams, you didn't even add Evan Conway to Evan. Imagine the 2020 and the 2021 that Evan Conway had. And you don't include him on this list. Come on.
No Marco Micheletto either.
Jake Keegan.
Yeah.
God, this is why the league should just leave this kind of stuff to us because it's so effing bad. Jake Keegan literally had a crappy year at Fort Madison, so bad that he went back to Greenville to have even a crappier year. And they include him in the all-time USL League 7.
Man's just out getting cardio. Can't blame him. You got to get that cardio sometimes.
Damian Villanueva, who should be the starting left back in the team because given the gear that he had, this man damn near was a winger playing left back. Okay, I'm fine.
You don't look fine.
All right, I was gonna say, you fine?
The league arguably missed players such as Jonathan Bolaños. Who else? Jonathan Bolaños.
Eric Leonard. I'm gonna say
Eric
it.
Leonard. God, a friend of the show who played up in Columbus who just won the trophy.
I said Nicoletto.
Marco Micheletti.
Yeah, Nicoletto.
Fricky.
Who else?
Ivan.
Ivy you can throw in there.
Even if you want to do dudes that played for 1 year.
Devin
Connor
Conway.
Antley.
Yeah, you can add Connor.
I mean, he wasn't he the defender of the no, he wasn't a defender. He was up there for defender of the year though.
Yeah.
Well, I think Brandon made a point too, where if it's like all-time career, like I don't know, Connor Doyle,
fine.
who played in the English Championship in like 7 years in the MLS, probably should be on the list.
Right. Like,
So I think-
don't know what the league was doing with this list because
You know
literally,
exactly what they're doing this list. They
there's
looked at their
only-
social media metrics and said, man, engagement's really low. How can we piss off a bunch of people on the internet all at once? Oh, wow. Let's create this all 7 thing and just like really muck it up just to like get people going. That's what happened.
Yeah,
You
I guess
don't
like,
even
but the
have
thing
to
was
even-
like, Cornwell's not even the no-code defender I would pick.
Right. You didn't even pick the good no-code defender. You
Did you
have
see
Arthur
what-
Rogers right there.
Did
Well,
you see
too,
what
like-
Literally, he plays
on
on the same
Instagram?
side as him.
Yeah. Well, even 7-man, it's a different sport, but it's like, I don't know, in 7-man, like I don't think you want like a traditional center back anyways. You probably want a guy like Rogers who can attack and distribute and do all those other things. Like
I mean, 3 strikers who all need to play in the middle in a 7-a-side is ridiculous.
Right. Like, what?
And again, you could pick 2 of those 3. Like you could pick Damas and you could pick Terzaghi. Totally fine.
they got 3
legitimate
out of the
claim.
7 on this list, right?
well,
3 out
and
of the
fucking North Texas isn't even the league anymore. Why are we gassing them up? They're an MLS Next Pro, American Idol, America's Got Talent League or whatever the fuck it's called. Like, we don't need to talk about them anymore. They're gone.
The
Unless
only
we're talking about like guys in the U.S. men's national team, then yes, we can talk about them. Besides that, fuck them. They're dead.
Right. There's only 2 people for the North Texas team that you should add. It should be Arturo Rodriguez and Ronaldo Damas. That is it. That is it. That you add those 2, you put Terzaghi because arguably the MVP trophy is going to be named after him. It's a by given fact. Give it to him. You can choose between. I'll give you either Arthur Rogers, Fricky, and you can put Ivan Magales up there. You can put whoever you
You can
want.
put Turbo.
Well,
You can put Turbo.
if we're being really dumb, why the fuck isn't Justin Che on the team? Justin Che is arguably having
Ryan
a
Reynolds.
better professional career than the 2 North Texas people they put on the fucking team.
Right.
I mean, if he end up at Hoffenheim, is that where he's at? Hoffenheim, yeah. So
Right,
he's
yeah.
the only one of those people playing for a top 5 team, or top 5 league team. Because Pepe's chilling in Groningen, and Damas is in Sweden or Norway or somewhere. Which great for him, obviously. But it's like that. There's a bit of a difference between playing for, I can't even name an Norwegian team, and then playing for Hoffenheim, who is in and out of Champions League contention every year.
Well, as I say, you could have gone Brian Reynolds, who went to Roma.
Mm-hmm.
He's where now?
I don't know where he is now.
I think he might be in the Netherlands too.
This is so bad.
You could even have Garrett McLaughlin.
Like, okay, so guys, let's kind of work through this and name our all-time 7. For the striker, do we agree on Emiliano Terzaghi? Yes or
No,
no?
just to piss you off at someone else.
I mean,
That's
that's who
fine.
I'd put. I'd put that.
Yeah.
All right. We got 3 out of the 4. Chip count doesn't matter anyway.
No, up top, I think it'd be hard to say anybody but Terzaghi, honestly.
I mean, just,
And if you're listening, go on and tweet this out there because we're about to put our 7 out there. So we got Terzaghi up top as our striker. Out on left wing, who are we putting? My personal vote, I'm putting Ethan Conway.
Evan,
Evan. I said Ethan. Shit.
I put Dami.
I put Dami.
If
If it's
I don't know.
seven-
plan, I
From the
put,
guy who
Arturo
originated Dami's a
Rodriguez.
winger, not a defender. Maybe
Yeah, but he
like
played
get your
left back
story
in this
straight.
league. So I got to figure out a way how to put Conway in this team.
I put Arturo out there.
Yeah,
I put
That'd be
Arturo in the
good one,
midfield.
We'll get there. Anyway,
Okay. So, all right, do we agree on Evan?
No,
No.
no.
All right, so who's y'all put out there?
Dami.
Do y'all agree on
Dami or Arturo?
I put Dami somewhere. Yeah.
Dami's got to be somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I put him somewhere.
He's either left back or left wing. Take your pick.
I
Where do
have
we
him
need
at
him?
left back.
Okay, that's fine. We can save him for left back.
If
We
I was
agree on that.
picking a former Union Omaha player, like especially a striker, to be in that team, I'd pick Hurst over Conway.
Yeah.
oh, you're going traditional. I'm just putting 7 dudes.
Oh yeah. Fair.
Anyway.
Okay, I'll give you hers. So we got Trezagi and Hurst.
What?
You just
Okay.
said Hurst. Did
That's
you
fine.
not?
That's fine.
I
Keep going.
did.
Keep going.
You
We
just
got-
said
we got
Mark
other stuff to
Hurst.
get
I
to.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
swear
go
to God.
attackers. Let's just not say start. Let's not go left wing, right wing. Let's go.
Okay,
attackers.
attackers.
Yeah.
God.
So who's the best 3 attackers in USL League One history thus far?
Emmy,
Terzaghi, Hurst, Damas. We're talking attackers.
Mhm.
I mean, I didn't put a third. My
Let's be
3
honest.
attackers were Arturo, Micheletto, Emmy.
Yeah, maybe Micheletto. That's
I'd
a good
include
one.
Micheletto for sure somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like I think the big one that we haven't talked about is Pepe, and like let's be honest, I think Pepe played like 8 games for North Texas.
The
So,
thing
like-
with Pepe was he started really, really well. He was
Mhm.
really, really good, and then FC Dallas was like, oh, "Okay, we're gonna have you on our team." He didn't show up until they played at until 2020 plays at Madison just to cause torment.
Mhm.
They decided, oh, playoffs, yeah, we'll have him play against Madison and he'll score a brace.
Yeah, but he's like barely a League One player. Like he was there.
But he wasn't there.
He
Like,
started there and then he progressed as he should have.
Yeah, he's like so I had a class I had religion freshman year with the star of the Creighton basketball team. He showed up for the first day of the class, midterms, and finals. That's Pepe.
Yeah, sounds about
How
right.
the fuck did he pass? I don't know. Not here to say anything, but he was there for 3 of them, and that's Pepe. He was there. Did he play in League One? Yeah. Did he like do a lot there? No, probably not.
All right. Who you have as the best midfielder in USL League One history? Because they have one midfielder.
Arturo.
Yeah, I'll go with Arturo.
I put Arturo in my tag, so I put Eric Leonard in midfield.
Did Leonard ever play midfield?
Yes, the first 2 years.
Really?
He played as a 6.
Don't remember this.
This
I
happened.
mean, he even played in place of Malloy sometimes, right?
He had started the 2021 season. He started in this ahead of Malloy, and then
Yeah.
he got a concussion, and then Malloy came in and ran with it ever since.
Because I'd put Malloy over Leonard.
All right, y'all. So I got a question for Matt.
Malloy's going places.
But again, I'm looking at Eric Leonard. He's been doing this for 4 years, and he's consistently been one of the better defenders. Or even if you put him in the midfield the first 2 years, he was a pretty damn good 6.
Mhm.
And he's been there for 4 years.
Was he better than JP though?
I mean, this is where I think in the defensive side, yes. Defensively.
Okay, I can see the case for putting Aaron Leonard as a defender. I can see that. But not in midfield when you have Arturo, Micheletto.
I threw them in the attack with Terzaghi. It's fine. I told you, I'm not going off this like tradition. I'm putting 7 dudes.
You were
that I
finding
wanna
some
win
way
this
how to
tournament.
put a Forward Madison player in this team, and we're not allowing this, Kyle.
Kyle's about to put Connor on the back line and Chris Brady in goal.
I was really close to putting Turbo in the defense. Yes,
I
was
know
close.
he was, and we're not allowing this.
For
Whatever.
a team that's made the playoffs once, they probably shouldn't have 2 to 3 guys on the team.
I mean, if one of those guys, if they're that good, then they're that good. I mean, it is what it is. Anyway,
All right.
we're saying this, but we're totally fine with just throwing a Tormenta player on there. They haven't made the playoffs.
Hey, Micheletto was
That's fair.
different.
That's
Okay?
fair.
But I'm just saying,
Micheletto won despite them.
don't give me this bullshit of Ford Matt's only made the playoffs 1 year. Until Tormenta clinches, they have not made the playoffs any of the year. So don't give me that
This
bullshit.
is true, but we can all agree. Micheletto was different.
I'm fine with that, but I'm just saying if you're gonna go with that reasoning, don't give me that bullshit.
Fair.
All right, fine.
That's a very
All right,
fair
fine.
point.
Fine. We will take Micheletto up.
No, I didn't say take Micheletto out. I said don't give me that argument as your reason to not have a Ford Madsen player in.
Kyle's
there
just
you go.
going through the OCB roster right now, trying to find someone.
You could try. That's not going to work.
I was going to look through Lansing Ignite's roster and be like, you know what? He was good. I like him.
Nick Moon, yeah.
Honestly, Nick Moon
Hey,
wasn't
Fricky,
bad.
look at that.
Yeah, Fricky, you know?
I mean, I do have Fricky in defense.
Well, I'd say Fricky's got to be in the defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's not even biased from me.
No,
No, that's,
honestly, I agree with that. I think Fricky, you can go
I
Ivan,
would
you
be
can throw
unabashedly biased about that if I had to.
Arthur in there.
I had Arthur Rogers in there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The defense, I feel like you can put anyone, like you can make your decision for the defense and there wouldn't be a problem with it.
Yeah.
I think that's like the one area where we could all just be like, yeah, okay, fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's the same thing with goalkeeper.
Yeah.
There's only 3 people you can choose from, and none of them are bad.
Brandon's waiting
Sure,
for you to say
clearly
who the
better.
3 are.
Well, everyone knows what the 3 are. Akira,
Brandon's like,
Newell,
who's
Dallas
the
Jay.
3? Name him, Yogi.
Oh, Akira,
Brandon
Newell,
went
Dallas
off
Jay.
on that thread about the goalkeeper.
What?
Or was that Gio? I thought that was you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was fine with the goalkeeper. I picked Akira too. I thought Akira was great.
Well, because no one picked. That must have been Gio then, because no one picked. Or someone was doing a lot of.
Yeah, everybody was mad that Dallas J didn't get in, and
Yeah.
like it's one of those things where it's like, I mean, 100%. I mean, I'm just not gonna pick every Greenville person.
Yeah. Well, and again,
yeah, but I mean, like I said earlier, the thing that kills Dallas J is literally,
Yeah.
if Dallas J never goes to Guam to play for that international team, and then has to play as soon as he comes back,
Mm-hmm.
like that man came off the play, and Hawks looked and was like, "Hey, you playing tonight?" And ever since that moment, he was never the same.
Mm-mm.
That's the only thing that doesn't save him. Like
Yep.
he lost his job to Christensen.
Yep.
Akira and Nuhu haven't lost their jobs. Like that's literally it. That's the case. But
Yeah.
I think that was fun. Maybe that's something we can do later. But yeah, the league totally mucked that up.
I will be excited when we do our first team, second team 11 to see how much that changed since the midseason.
Ooh. Yeah. When are we doing that? After the regular season? I think. Maybe so.
Well, they're not gonna. I think they're not gonna announce it until either like near the final or after the finals.
Okay. So we just have to wait. Well, maybe we can start working on it now because
I'll
We already
probably have to
gotta-
work on it. Yeah, there will be hard decisions.
Oh, it won't be any hard decisions for me. I know who I put in there full heartedly. There's a
Something
small
before
part of
me.
me that wants Grant McLaughlin to score 3 goals just so I can be right about my golden boot pick.
Hey, you know what? Galindras can score that hat trick as well. You know what? I got a lot of things wrong, but that one didn't look bad.
Yeah, like your coach of the year.
Yeah. We don't need to rehash that. We did that last week.
Guys, we're coming up 1 round of games left. It's going to be an exciting week. You got games starting off at 5 all the way up into 10 o'clock. It's going to be fun. Any last takeaways before we wrap up the show? It's not as craziness as we usually do with me going
I
on.
wanna know I've got 2 things. One, going back to that player 7. I don't know if you saw, my favorite thing from that 7 was on Instagram, Ethan Vanacore Decker replied to that with while tagging Rob Cornwall saying clearly they've never seen you play small-sided games. So that was my favorite reply to that 7 aside.
this is a real thing. Oh, snap.
Oh, he roasted Rob Cornwall so bad. And then also, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, who's gonna stay up with me and watch Madison and Tucson?
I'll say it. I'll be up.
I'll be up.
Just me, Kyle.
Maybe we should do a special watch party for that game just for Kyle.
No, I will be at the Ford Club watching it while wearing a Snuggie.
I have a bunch of wooden spoons in my kitchen. I can just like
Oh, that's
make a
fun.
makeshift trophy, and we can like get a.
I'm
Kyle
going
to
to be
give it
wearing
to.
a Snuggie while watching the watch party and whatever.
Kyle, would you rather have a wooden spoon or a golden toilet?
Spoon.
Okay. All right.
I feel like like a wooden spoon that sucks, but like that's whatever. A golden toilet, you got to sit here and explain why the fuck you have a golden toilet,
Yeah, because you were the worst team in the league.
right? And like you have to explain that. If someone sees a wooden spoon, they're not going to think twice of it. They're just be like, okay, it's a wooden spoon. But if they see a golden toilet, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this?
It's a golden toilet.
Or hear me out. It could become functional. It could become a centerpiece of.
No, because then they're gonna ask, why the fuck is your toilet golden? Like, what are you doing? And I'm gonna have to explain everything, like how I got it. It's just
It's a reminder never to be last again.
no, I'm good. I'll take the spoon.
So here's a free content idea for USL League One. Just like for fantasy football drafts, how there's like a punishment for being last. The team who finishes in last place should have to do like some really dumb TikTok dance challenge or something.
Where's OCB when you need them?
They finished last.
And
in
MLS
MLS
next? No, I think FC Cincinnati finished last.
Okay, I was gonna say that'd be very on brand for them.
All right, let me.
But-
I'm gonna look it up.
I guess my last words would be pray for Omaha fans and their delicate sensibilities. They're going through a very trying time right now.
Ain't no one praying. Y'all
Giving
will
you
be
as much
fine.
sympathy that I gave the royal family when the queen died. None.
Boo-ho's in a box. Boo-ho's in a box.
Y'all will be fine.
But no, jokes aside, Omaha fans, been a great fucking year. Been a great fucking year. Still lots of room. Calm the fuck down.
Gonna go Irish
Calm the fuck
Twitter.
down.
I'm gonna go Irish Twitter if I have to.
Honestly,
Oh,
Kyle. that
Oh
would be-
no. Okay. So no. So the team that finished in last place in MLS Next Pro was Timbers 2
Ooh. There's a
With-
former Creighton guy on their team right now.
with 10 points.
There's a former
Oh.
USL League One guy on their team. Unfortunately,
Who's there right now?
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Yeah,
That's where
they
Malika
finished
from
Portland
too,
last.
right?
OCB, hey, good
Yeah.
shout out to OCB. They finished 4th to last. Okay, they
Oh,
Shows that MLS Next Pro is trash.
Monarchs finished 3rd to last. So yeah, that's what we were looking at here.
This league is stupid.
Well, and again, I think it shows the health of the league that we've had 4 years and 4 different champions, and 4 years and potentially 3 different wooden spoon winners. Like, that's cool.
that is fun.
Granted, with OCB, that's a cheat code because they were so fucking bad.
Okay, you know what, Charlotte, do what you need to, because then I don't have to worry about shit when it gets to it.
Hey,
You heard it
Ab,
here
I know
first.
you're off screen, but would you be cool with the golden toilet if we make it and send it to you? We'll wait for her to reply.
Oh, Yogi, let's talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a USL 1 supporter shield?
I don't know, but I'm gonna have one on Saturday.
They don't have one in the championship either. Remember they used
No,
to
it's
Fuck
like-
the championship. That's not my league. I don't care about that shit.
San Antonio.
League.
Oh,
It
Well,
doesn't.
they
know how
have
to
like
do
a
it.
Eastern Conference and Western Conference champion trophy, which I guess is the same as like the USL 1. Like, hey, you made the finals trophy. It's not a real trophy, but I think it's really
Yeah, I
sad that we
wanna do
don't
a
have
shield
something.
because shield is so. Everyone has a fucking shield.
How about a
I wanna do
sword?
something different.
Yeah, so it could be whatever. Like
Fuck
the
it, make it a
shield,
sword.
the shield
You
is
know what?
more.
Like
You know what,
Pokemon.
guys? We're gonna do a
You made the
USL League One
Jordan
title.
Shield over here.
I'm gonna go to Walmart. I'm gonna buy a WWE Championship. I'm gonna spray print USL League One on that bitch. That's gonna
I'm
be
just
our
saying.
supporters.
Well,
I'm sick with the sword.
So Yogi, what we really got to do, we got to go to the corner store. We got to get a pack of Marlboro Menthols. And we got to brass those like baby shoes
There
and
you
stick
go.
them on a trophy. That's the trophy.
Pretty much.
It's the USL 1 pack of 6.
There you go.
And then it makes sense when we say smoking on that USL 1 pack.
Right.
Could,
There you go.
could be a box.
What a
we could
great
just put every
what a
other
great
team in it.
sponsorship opportunity. When you win, they pass
Put it-
around cigarettes to all the players and they're just smoking on the field.
I don't know. I'm now starting to think a box would be good. And then the winning team could just chant that the losing team's in a box.
Just get a milk carton box and just be like, fucking suck.
Well, instead of a wooden spoon, let's
Like,
just get a milk
how funny
carton.
would it be if Greenville were to eliminate Omaha and not only have the belt, but then they would chant "Boo-hoes in the box, in a box, boo-hoes in a
Boo-hoes
box." Like, I'm just saying, like,
Yo,
let's
now that
start
I think about it,
international
well,
drama.
what
Ooh,
playoff
wait,
match
there
do
might
you
be some
have in the
English
first
players that
round?
might actually. Well, we have Irish players. They might join in. There's some Nigerians.
Well, I
They'll
think you got to
join
worry
in.
about the English players, not the Irish players.
Depending on where in England, like they might join in. Like if they in Manchester or Liverpool, like they'll join.
I think the real point here is we need to be quiet before someone at the USL League One office steals this idea.
Oh no, they're gonna ruin it by a bullshit 7-aside. Matt,
I can't wait.
Matt, my co-host had one question for y'all. Who said who is the Carson Wentz of USL League One? Take that as you will. My guess is Pablo Yara for South Georgia Tormenta, a guy that we all believed in at one point that has had terrible form. He even lost his job. So pretty much a guy that you rated really highly, that everyone rated really highly, that just got
My
worse.
coach of the
and
year
worse
pick.
time.
The end. Bye bye.
Huh?
My coach of the year pick. Good night.
I feel bad saying it, but EVD maybe?
I don't
Omaha
know,
fans
I
literally
feel
had a
he's
shirt that
been
said-
good. He's just injuries.
Well, right, but like his first year in the league, Omaha fans had shirts saying EVD for MVP. Then he got
that was a
hurt.
stupid argument.
Then he got hurt.
So then the
Then he
team
got
did better
hurt.
without him.
Then he
Won a
got hurt.
championship. Actually,
Yeah.
You know-
I mean,
so there's two options. Depending how you want to look at, how things went south, like whether it's injuries or off the field or on the field.
which in fairness for Omaha, it wasn't the subtraction of EVD, but rather the addition of Greg Hurst and Connor Doyle for free.
Brad, you got
Yeah.
anyone you want to add to this?
That had nothing to do with EVD, really.
Yeah.
I think
see
what
that.
Ryan said
Will
about
Pilato is a
Pilato,
good call.
Oh, yeah. That I
it's a
could see
fan-
that.
I mean,
yeah.
he's an incredible player, but it's another guy with he's EVD as well. He's the same thing. Not always injured. That's not fair. He's injured a lot, and so that's really he's had bad luck.
Well, this could be a potential shit show of an ending to the football game.
This is really bad. Guys, as always, I appreciate doing this show with y'all. It was really, really fun. Hopefully you can join us next week when you have better internet, because God knows you need it.
Get off that spectrum.
Remember, kids, for 10 cents a day donated to our show, you can help Ebony get better internet. And with that being said, guys, enjoy Decision Day. It's much better than anything else that's going to be on TV. There's bound to be something stupid that happens. There's bound to be chaos. Cal's going to tweet about the Ford Madison game at 10 o'clock like it's 8 o'clock. And it's all going to be fun.
Me too.
And Yogi's
Sorry, y'all.
gonna
Always go next
gonna black out on Incredible Hulk slushies and a hand grenade.
Damn, Skippy. See y'all.